With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
Getting engaged is a moment worth cherishing. A one-of-a-kind ring that you design at Blue Nile can help your love sparkle. Just choose your diamond and setting. When you've found the one, you'll get it delivered right to your door. Finding the right engagement ring can be nerve-wracking. At Blue Nile, you'll have the expert guidance needed and a diamond guarantee that ensures you're getting the highest quality at the best price. Cherish all of life's moments and save up to 30% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is Back on Track from Anything But Footy, a brand new interview series featuring Team GB and Para-GB athletes aiming for Tokyo 2020 in 2021. Our guest in this first episode is two-time Paralympian Charlotte Henshaw. She won a silver medal in London and a bronze medal in Rio, and is now aiming to complete the set, having switched sports from swimming to canoeing. She reflected on the postponement of the Paralympics because of coronavirus and the challenges it's presented.
I'm good at the moment. I think, like everybody, I have my ups and downs, and athletes were not immune to that. I've struggled over the last couple of months. It's a tricky time to be living in, and I enjoy coming to training. Now we're back to some form of normality, because for those few hours it feels like a normal day. And it's only when we're kind of going home and I think, I can't pop for a coffee with my friend and all of that. And that's where it really is tricky. But on the whole, we're very lucky that we're able to be back in our training environment and cracking on for yet another games year.
Because there's this perception with elite sports people like yourself that it's 100% live and breathe what you do, para canoe. But actually, you do need to go for that coffee. You do need to go to the theatre. You do need to go to a concert. You do need to switch off, and you've not been able to do that.
You're right. And for me, certainly, that switching off from the sport is really important. I got into the quite dangerous territory, I think, when I swam, that it became all consuming. And what I've learned from that experience is that now I'm in a different sport. I was very conscious I didn't want that to be the case again. So yes, of course, paracanoe it influences pretty much every decision that I make in my life. In the same vein, I don't want it to rule my life, and to find that balance is really tricky. And especially in, like you say, in the current situation, those opportunities to allow yourself that time to switch off they're not very common at the moment. So I think over lockdown, I learned a lot about how to do that without the usual opportunities. And allowing myself time to feel that, I think, was important, because I think I could have just ploughed through and ignored everything. And I think that would have been probably quite dangerous. And it might have been a bit of a delayed reaction to all the things that are going on in the world at the moment. So I allowed myself to be a bit vulnerable in that. And I think that that's actually helped me maintain a bit more of a level head, I think, over this last couple of weeks and months.
I suppose the good thing is that through the UK sport funding model and the assurances that government gave UK sport, you knew that your funding was good through to 2021. But how did that postponement affect you? And, where were you when you heard? What did you think?
I was in my lounge. I remember it very vividly. We knew the decision was going to come. Like, it was the right choice. People were probably taking slight risks to continue training because it was so close to what would have been the Olympics and then the Paralympics. And so to have the decision made was as an athlete body, we wanted it to be made sooner rather than later so that we knew what we were dealing with. But it didn't make it any easier to hear when we read it. So when it went up on Twitter, I saw it, and it was hard. It was really difficult. And the hardest thing I had to do throughout the whole of lockdown to do with my training was go on my calendar and delete the entry for when we would have been flying to the games. And it really shocked me at how hard it was to just delete a calendar entry. But what that calendar entry meant to me was so huge. So to have to kind of just get rid of that for another 12 months was really hard. So I allowed myself a couple of days just to take it in and not force myself to train. And then eventually I got back to it, and we looked at the new plan, and we shifted the goalposts, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
Two-time Paralympic medalist Charlotte Henshaw. This is Back on Track from Anything But Footy, looking ahead to Tokyo 2020 in 2021.
I think London was a game changer for the Paralympic Games, and I always wondered whether that was just because I was a British athlete and that I thought that it was this most wonderful thing, which it was. But then having spoken to my friends who were involved in that games from other countries, they speak of it just as highly as we do. And so that told me that it was more than just looking at it with rose-tinted glasses because it was our home games. I think people didn't understand the Paralympics before. So I think that the messaging that Channel 4 had around it was great. I think the work that they did to explain Paralympic sport more so that it was more accessible to people was brilliant. And then I think as well, some of it happened by chance, because I know a lot of people that didn't get tickets for the Olympics, thought, well, we'd like to go and be part of it, so let's go to the Paralympics because we can get tickets for that. And then they went, and then they saw the sport with their own eyes and thought, oh, well, this is competitive, and this isn't just come and have a go if you've got a disability and hit a ball around or swim a few lengths. You know, they then appreciated what sport they were seeing, and so it hugely changed the landscape of Paralympic sport. It's not where we need it to be. It's still work to be done, but it was definitely the kickstart for it, I think.
Is it fair to say that still in most interviews you do, features you take part in, there is still focus then on your disability as opposed to your sporting achievements?
Probably less so now, actually. And I think it's always a tricky one, because I think for some people, just talking about the sport, it has to be about the sport. But as a Paralympic athlete, there is no getting away from the fact that there is a reason that you are a Paralympic athlete. And for some people, and especially if a young disabled person, they need to see and hear that maybe somebody who's got the same disability as them has done this. So for them, they need to hear that. So it's tricky to get the right balance. But I had never really thought about it before, but actually the content has shifted a lot to the sport, which is, as an athlete, is what you want to talk about.
And are you happy in terms of where you were with swimming and now obviously with canoeing, that you've been looked after, your welfare has always been kind of front of mind?
Yeah, I think for me, the last year of my swimming career was tough. And I think I wasn't in a great place. I don't think I wasn't enjoying the sport, and I was almost trying to just get over the line to get to Rio and do it. And that was for various reasons. And I think I was ready to call it a day, and I just was trying to drag myself to the games because it was so close. And then when I came out of swimming, I kind of threw myself into canoeing because it was the new thing. And it was about 6 months into canoeing that I ended up, all the emotions that I'd not dealt with over the last year of my swimming career, and also leaving the sport that I'd known for so long, it all came to a head about 6 months later. And I went to go and see somebody to talk about it, and I had counselling about it, and that was all facilitated through the sport, which, you know, was incredible. And I feel very fortunate that they allowed me that opportunity to go and deal with what I was going through. And now, yes, I feel certainly in canoeing, it's a very supportive environment. It's a very open environment. And again, with the support we have from lottery money, which then comes through UK sport, which then comes through the sport itself. All those things allow us to be in great physical shape, but also mental robustness, I guess. And that's really important.
Charlotte Henshaw aiming for a third Paralympic medal in Tokyo after swapping sports. This is the series where we speak to Team GB and Para-GB athletes preparing for Tokyo 2020 in 2021. You've been listening to Back on Track from Anything But Footy.
Social Podcast Network.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.